Good morning. Rather, good afternoon. It is Wednesday afternoon. Hold on, my camera is crooked. Okay, it's Wednesday afternoon. I am sorry I did not make a video for you yesterday. Today, for me, I really don't feel good yet. I think my husband and I both ate something really bad because I woke up to him this morning not in the pleasantest space. And then about 10 o'clock, 9:30-ish, mine started going downhill. No pun intended. And it just was, anyhow, enough of all that. It was bad. I still don't feel great, but at least I'm prone. So I'm filming this now because I'm hoping I get to go to sleep late this afternoon, early evening. I've been up since 3. Between him and me, the dog is asleep. He's like, what was wrong with you two? He's asleep. He's not in his normal spot either. So I could have rushed this today. Now that I'm able to stand prone, sit prone, I could have rushed this and put it out this afternoon or get it ready for in the morning, actually. But I'm not going to do that to myself. It is a video about art. It is not, the South Carolina State Legislature, which is really bad, or at times, or, it's not, the UN deciding on something major and hoping the rest of the world goes with it. It's just art. I'm like, you know what? Just stop. You don't feel good. You still don't feel good. Just chill. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make the video. I'm not going to even edit it until tomorrow. But that'll enable me to release. I think I'm an adult ADHD person. Don't watch those videos on YouTube. Are you an adult ADHD video? I can't. My mind, I cannot watch anything about art after like 5 o'clock. Which in the evenings is when you kind of relax and kind of go brain dead and you start watching videos. I can't watch anything creative because I'm like, oh, I can do that. Oh, and then I'm making notes on my phone and in my little journal. And I'm like, I can't do it. I see washi tape over here and I see paint over there. And I'm like, I want to do all the things. This is me with no sleep. Anyhow, so I'm hoping once I can make this video, I will release the art, the need for art. Some have the need for speed. I have the need for art. Oh. And I'll be able to take a nap / maybe just chill out and go to sleep. So I'm like, okay, the dog is asleep. The husband is gone to a meeting. I'm like, I'm just going to make my video and not edit it until tomorrow. So, okay. We are 3 minutes in and I haven't started anything. Okay, we're going to do the Jungle Book. In my delirium at 3 o'clock, I took a bunch of green specks off of different journals of mine and a picture of flowers and blew them up, rearranged it, cut it up, rearranged it again, and printed it on Procreate. Added some spots where there was white space. This is green, and it's going to be the green of the background of Jungle Book. I'm going to do Jungle in red in the script that I've been doing. There's grayish blues, there's brown. That's all I know what I'm doing. I think I have a stencil. I have this stencil. But these are all like American or green trees. They're not jungle trees. But I think I could do something with these leaves. So, and I have this space to work with, Hercule Poirot from British Stage. But it can be any size I want. And it seems to be that I'm doing like a 4x5 size. And I'm going to leave these here because I just think the green goes with the Jungle Book. The blue goes with Nancy Drew. I had to think about that for a sec. So, let's see if I can make stencil leaves. And you know what? This might be able to be turned into a palm type of leaf too. So I'm just going to put this on the back. It's going to get cut. Can I use a pencil? Yeah, no, I could use a pen. Oops, that's got green. That's got white margin in it. Okay. And cut these out and see where that leaves us on something. I don't know if this is going to be my background also. But I'm going to cut out a couple. And maybe like put them in the middle of some of these leaves. I don't know. Oh. I was watching Murdoch yesterday. I even got my husband to watch it. He's like, how do you watch this? I'm like, I'm watching it on, because they had a whatever, I don't know the terms. But I'm watching it on a YouTube streamer. And I was like, okay, now, so I'm not going to say her name, but some of y'all might know who I'm talking about. She was a previous attorney from California, so she can't be all bad. LA, so that's she gets kudos for that, just for that. But she cusses a lot. I'm not a fan of the cursey words. I think there's other ways to express your intelligence besides, you know, things that rhyme with duck. I like duck sauce. I don't like things that rhyme with duck. Okay, let's just, but she seems to me the best one to explain things. Maybe that's my ADHD adult coming out of me. I don't know. Now, admittedly, these might all be the same tones because they're in the same area on my piece of paper. But we might be able to work with that too. But anyhow, so I could hear him watching it in his office, and he lasted for about 20 minutes with her. Like, you know, you can speed this up because I don't watch anything on normal speed. Does that say something about me too? And if y'all don't watch me on normal speed, that's okay. Because, you know, hello, I'm cutting out leaves. I get it. I don't watch anybody. Not even some of my heroes. Amy Tangerine, I watch her on fast forward. Although she hasn't made a YouTube video in forever. I think she's getting away from YouTube. Which, I get it. She's got young kids. But the art part of my heart just cries. I'm like, oh man. I get it. She's evolved into other stuff. I know. My heart misses her, though. She was my second favorite person. But one of my major heroes in this mixed media world. And she was one of the very first people I found. The very first person I found is another girl from California, from the Bay Area. I don't know. She might be from Hawaii. But she lives in Berkeley now, I think, which is where my aunt lived. And we went there a lot for holidays and stuff. My mom's aunt, my great aunt. And she worked at Berkeley in the 60s. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Even if you don't agree with all of that, just that lifetime. Oh my gosh. And she was not that, she was very prim and proper. We called her the 3x5 aunt. She had her life planned. Before planners were planners, her entire life was planned on a 3x5 card. Literally. And she saved them. She filed them. Maybe that's where I get some of this stuff. She saved them. She filed them. I don't know how her kids cleaned out her house when she passed away. Which wasn't too long ago. But they lived in the hills of Berkeley. And, oh my God. I used to love going to that house. You would enter on the second floor. And because it was on a hill, granted, it probably slides, you know, or rattles and rolls during an earthquake. But the whole front of the house was windows, glass, and you just looked out over the bay in San Francisco. I mean, it was just spectacular at night. But I just thought entering your house and going down to your main living area was so cool. The bedrooms were on the third floor, and then my great uncle had a huge workshop. And because they built that house, but they moved into it when it was raw, and then he finished it. It was gorgeous wood everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. It was just a really interesting house. But before, I mean, it was built in the 50s, so who knows what the building codes were then. This is weird. Anyhow, where was I going with any of this? She planned her life out on 3x5 cards. Oh, this lady, the lady that lives in Berkeley, the craft lady that lives in Berkeley. The first person I ever saw do mixed media was Tracy Bautista. If you have not seen her, she used to be a lot more, and I don't know if this is fair to say about her, but I think she was with American Crafts, so she was a lot more mainstream. But she has gotten away from that, and because she has decoupage glue, I think that's still marketed in her name. Smart lady, smart lady. But she had mixed media videos on YouTube that would show you how to do wacky backgrounds for anything. Now she has her own kind of like handmade paints, or she makes the main formula or something. I don't know. And then I found Traveler's Notebooks, I think is how it happened. And then I was off to the races. And then, you know, YouTube kind of like exploded too. Oh gosh, I just lost a whole bunch of stuff. Don't. We're going to use this. It hasn't fallen on the floor yet. Oh, this room is a disaster. It needs to be cleaned so bad. Do I need to do that? Not really. I think I'll leave this white part out. Just like that. And this is cut edge. That's okay. Now, that's going to be problematic because I didn't cut away from the margin. So let's just take us a little marker and fix that. Mixed media at its finest. But yeah, once I found Traveler's Notebooks, some of you have heard this story, but there's more people watching me. Oh, that makes me a little nervous. But I had leftover pictures from I was always a scrapbooker, and 12 by 12 scrapbooker always. I have so many of them, but our house is small, and I'm like, I don't have room for all these scrapbooks. And I'm like, you know, digital started getting into the fray of things. And I'm like, and at just about that time, along came Traveler's Notebooks to my life. Which has been like 6 years ago now, maybe. I'm like, I can work in that format. It was square. If you opened it up, they're 4 by 8. That's my name. And if you open them up, they're 8 by 8. I'm like, I can work with that. And I took all my leftover ephemera. I have always been an ephemera collector from Israel. Granted, I bought a ton of stuff. I bought all the little tour books that you see in foreign countries lined up, like the French version, the Spanish version, the American version, the Dutch version, blah, 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 blah. Anything that said English on it, I bought it. I'm going to just do this. And I had all these little towns that we went, every single town that we went to, anything I could get a book for, I bought. And I'm just tacking these down for right now. And I had a lot of leftover ephemera. And now I would have collected all my receipts. I would have collected, I did save my plane tickets and all that kind of stuff. But I had a ton of stuff. So I got all of that stuff, that box out. My mom was here that day, just visiting. And I got on the kitchen table, which is small and round. And I had that entire thing covered. Our kitchen table seats squished 6. Bad purchase on our part, but we were talked into it. We needed all this round stuff to go with all these angles in this house. That's what the decorator said. Anyhow, I went to town, and I think I filled up the entire Traveler's Notebook in like 2 sittings. And it was just, my mom's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm gluing paper to paper. She goes, hey. And I'm like, I just think this is fabulous. And started getting everything I could find about Traveler's Notebooks, which at that time was like My Life Mitts and Amy Tangerine. And and then I found Jose Naranja, and he is not a Traveler's Notebook person per se. I don't know if I like this, but I'm going to continue. But he is an amazing journaler, an organized journaler. I don't think I can be an organized journaler. I'm pretty sure after 6 years, I'll never be an organized journaler. But I found his blog. It just was a rapid move to Traveler's Notebook / journaling / and I think the whole world it all happened at the same time for the whole community. Now it's kind of evolving into more hybrid, where it's half and half. And I do a little bit of the half and half with my skill levels. I do what I can. And I just love it. Just love it. I don't know where I was going with any of that either. Okay. I need bluish brown. Ooh. No, I need bluish gray, which could be this marine. But I might need to add a little bit of white to it. Wonder if we could add a little white gouache to Dina Wakley's paint. That was another thing. About that same time, I discovered Ranger and some of their products. Oh, that looks just like the bear. The Jungle Book was the first movie I ever saw. Speaking of ADHD, let's just flip over to that. 45 years earlier. I remember we went to the lady next door. Took us. I was probably 8 or 9. I'm just doodling with paint. That's all I'm doing, because I don't know what I'm going to do. But we went to San Rafael to the movie theater. She took us and her daughter. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that movie. Okay, now. Ooh, there goes my stomach, but I can't eat anything. I should change the name of this channel to My Stomach's Growling. Sorry. It never growls until I turn on the camera. Okay. I think I need to get rid of that. All right, I'm going to let this dry for a minute. I'll be right back. All right. We need to figure out the name, which we said we were going to do jungle. But I think I want to do this in tan. I don't know how dark this is. I'm just winging it here, people. Now I'm going to dry that. Note to self, that dries really fast. Okay, now I need red. I don't think red's going to go over that. I'm trying to think. Well, maybe I can write with this big lipstick tube here. Jungle. I can start. Oh, that's weird. You can't write them on top of each other? I've never even tried this. See? This is where playing around helps. Huh. I don't think you can write these on top of each other. That is wild. Okay, let's try the Stabilo then. I use these for ease. Oh, shoot. That's not going to work. I need to reverse it. Okay, let's do red and then right. Red with this. Hold on, let me think a second. Red, yeah, red with this and right on top of it with brown. Even if I get this wet. And I kind of like the chalkboardy look compared to that. And I don't think I'm going to get this wet. I use these, I started to say, I'm telling you my head today. I use these a lot because of the ease of going to the next step. Trying to just get the wax off of here so I can go ahead. Now, where's my brown Stabilo? Jeez. Okay. Let's see if this works. Yes. Okay. But again, I don't want this to be obvious. Oh, may not fit. Okay. That's okay. It doesn't fit all the way. I mean, I squished the E and the L, but that's okay because it just adds to the abstractness of all of it. I think I'm going to put it across the middle of the leaves because I don't want this to be obvious of any kind of actual object, abstract. So I know there are a lot of new people, and for lack of having to repeat myself over and over, and for the people that have been here for several years, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to them by repeating myself over and over and over again. But that was a tiny synopsis of how I got into this and where my name came from. I got to tear this a little bit more flat because otherwise it's not going to fit well in here. My name came from the love of Traveler's Notebooks and the epiphany I had when I found them. And it really was an epiphany. I think I took my Greece ephemera box that was the next year's trip, and all that was left over from that. Again, I overbought stuff because I thought I'm never going to be in these places ever again, especially not on a trip. Greece was fabulous. Israel was fabulous in different kinds of way. Both of them were Bible study trips, but Greece offered, I don't know, it was a different experience. Same group of people, but different experience. And I just took all that ephemera and went to town with Greece. Oh my gosh, I love these. I love these. I love these. Oh, we're getting into the littles. I think I better, if you haven't been here already, I have like 4 books that are with little in the title, which is going to stem another project. But I'm very short. And I've had a complex with little all my life. So Little House, I think, is the first one. Little House on the Prairie. I mean, what girl hasn't read those books of my age group? And other ones, too. So, we have this covered wagon shape. We have red, we have blue, we have the wheat. And we have little girls. So, I don't know. I don't know. Stay tuned. Thanks for giving me a day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.